Hello students, welcome to mathematics class. Students, this is part 2 of the chapter direct and inverse variation. In this part 2, we will continue with the direct proportion and solve some example problems from the textbook. Continuing further, students, here yesterday I gave you this, try these questions as a homework. In that first question is, observe the following table and find is, here it is xy are directly proportional. So coming to the first one, as I have already discussed with you, if you want to check variable x and y, are they directly varying or not, you need to identify the ratio between their corresponding values. That is, if you find x upon y, that is going to be a constant or not. So the value corresponding to x1 is y1. So 20 upon 40 is 1 by 2. Coming to the next, for 17 corresponding y value is 34. So 17 by 34, its simplified form also 1 by 2. 14 by 28, which is the next ratio, x3 upon y3, it is also 1 by 2. That means you can watch here these x values and their corresponding y values are in the same ratio. Therefore, the first question, x and y are directly proportional. Coming to the next, second one. In the case of second one, 6 upon 4, which is x1 by y1, 10 by 8, 14 by 12, if you find here 2 3s are 2 2s are 2 5s are 2 4s are 2 7s are 2 6s are. You know 3 by 2 not equal to 5 by 4, not equals to 7 by 6. So in the second question, values of x and corresponding values of y are not in proportion, are not in ratio. Therefore, in the case of second question, x and y are not directly proportional. Coming to the question number third. In the case of question number third, 5 upon 15, 5 upon 15, 8 upon 24, 12 upon 36, 15 upon 60 and 18 upon 72, 20 upon 100. If you watch it, here 5 1s are 5 3s are, 8 1s are 8 3s are, 12 1s are 12 3s are, 15 1s are 15 4s are. Here you could see 18 1s are 18 4s are, 20 1s are 20 5s are. Somewhere, though these first three are in ratio, same ratio, but coming to the fourth onwards, they are not equal. So therefore, we say third one is also not in same ratio. The values corresponding to the x and the values corresponding to the y are not in the same ratio. Therefore, third one is also not in directly proportional. So you need to watch all the values. Very important, you need to watch all the values. Here, when it comes to the first question, I have checked first 3. If you further check also, 11 by 22 gives you 1 by 2, 8 by 16 gives 1 by 2 only, 5 by 10 also gives 1 by 2, 2 by 4 gives 1 by 2. Whereas in the second one, visibly in the beginning itself we have come to know that the values of x and y are not correspondingly giving same ratio. But whereas in the question third, we need to watch carefully. So that I have brought it, your information. Coming to the try this question second one. In the second question, we are given a question on finding simple interest as well as compound interest. Children, we have already learnt the formula for finding simple interest in our class 7th itself, and we learnt finding compound interest in class 8th. Here we are given principal 1000 rupees, rate of interest 800 rupees, 8%, rate of interest 8% per annum. Fill in the following table and find which type of interest changes in the case of directly proportional with the time period. We need to identify that. So the table is this, where simple interest for first year, second year and third year are the same 1000 rupees at the rate of 8% per annum, and compound interest also we need to find out and identify which of the interest is directly proportional with the time. Okay, so for your information, formula to find simple interest is P into R into T upon 100. So with this formula, if I find for the first year, so simple interest for the first year, so P into R into T upon 100. If I find out with that, 1000 rupees into 8% for the first year means 1 into 1 upon 100. So 2 zeros cancels, it gives rupees 80. So rupees 80 here for the first year simple interest. So simple interest for the end of second year, we have same formula where 1000 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 2 years, because we are finding for the second year end of the year 2. So upon 100 gives 100 and rupees 60. So 10 into 8 into 2 gives 160. So it's rupees 160. So simple interest at the end of third year or for the third year, with the same formula, we have 1000 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 3, because 3 years we are taking, upon 100 gives rupees 240. Why? Because 2 zeros cancels, 10 into 8 into 3 gives 240 rupees. Rupees 240 we got. Children, now we will go for finding compound interest. Do you know what is the formula to find compound interest? Yes, it is P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to the power T. Raised to the power T. This portion gives amount. From the amount, if I take out principal, I will get compound interest. Let us calculate. Here, coming to the compound interest. See, compound interest by the end of first year with the same formula, P into 1 plus R upon 100 whole raised to the power time. From this amount we get, from that amount if I take out principal, I will get the compound interest. So I will calculate here 1000 into 1 plus rate of interest 8%, 8 upon 100 raised to the power time. For the first end of the first year means it is 1, and here this T is for that period. Rate of interest for the period per annum 8% and time period for that 1 year. So minus 1000. So 1000 into 8 cancels with 4, 4 2s are 4, 25s are. So 1 plus 2 by 25 becomes 27 by 25 raised to the power 1. Here once again I am telling you 1 plus 2 upon 25, after taking LCM we will have here 25 plus 2 by 25, it becomes 27 upon 25. So that's how this 27 by 25 has come. Whole raised to the power 1, where that power is from the period, how much we are finding time period for 1 year. So minus 1000. So what is the value of 1000 into 27 upon 25? So 25 ones are 25 40s are. So you need to find out 40 into 27. You know 40 into 27 is 1080 minus 1000, which gives 80, that is rupees 80 is the compound interest for the end of first year. Next, this is how I got the value. See children, if I want to find out compound interest by the end of second year, what are all the modifications to be done? Formula remains same, only I will tell you little changes. I am doing it with a different ink. Let me go for changing of the ink. I changed with the red. See, for the second year it becomes 2. That means here power becomes only 2, that's it, nothing changes. Same formula, that means 1000 into 1 plus 8 upon 100 raised to the power 2 minus 1000. Here power 1, it is because of the time period first year. Power 2, it is because the time period is for 2 years I have taken. Now if here it is 1000 to be written, I have written 100, so I am changing it. Okay, now coming to the 1000 into 1 plus 8 by 100 whole power 2, 8 by 100 we will simplify with the same, cancelling by 4, 4 2s are 4, 25s are, that means it becomes 1000 into 1 plus 2 by 25, it is same 27, so 27 upon 25 whole power 2 minus 1000, principal I am removing. So what is the value of 27 by 25 whole square? You know how to calculate 27 square. 27 square is 729 upon, I am not going for squaring 25 because I have a chance of cancellation. So 25 ones are 25 40s are, again further 5 8s are 5 5s are. So that means I am going to have here 8 multiplied by 729 upon 5 minus 1000. So you know how to multiply 8 into 729 gives 5832 upon 5 minus 1000. If you do further, 5832 by 5, it becomes 1166 40 paise. 1166.4, that means 40 paise minus 1000, it gives us 166 rupees 40 paise. This is the answer. So we got here answer as 166 rupees 40 paise as the compound interest by the end of second year. Now we will calculate for third year in a new page. So compound interest, by the end of third year, formula remains same, principal into 1 plus r upon 100 raised to the power t minus principal, here 1000 into 1 plus 8 upon 100 raised to the power, here third year, so per annum rate of interest is 8, so the time period for 3 years will be 3 minus principal is 1000. Now 1000 into, 8 by 100 becomes 2 by 25, 1 plus 2 by 25 gives you 27 by 25, where that 27 by 25 raised to the power 3 minus 1000. See children, how quickly you will calculate the multiplications matters here. You need to find out 27 cube upon 25 into 25 into 25. So first with this 25 I will cancel, 25 ones are 25 40s are 1000 cancelled, again 5 8s are 5 5s are, so ultimately I am left with at least to calculate 8 into 27 whole cube by 5 into 25 is 125, so minus 1000. So carrying further this calculation, 8 into 27 whole cube is 19,683 upon 125 minus 1000. So 19,683 into 8 becomes 1,57,464 rupees by 125 minus 1000. So 1,57,464 divided by 125 becomes 1,259.712 minus 1000. So from 1,259.712, 1000 is removed, gives you 259.712. So this is the value by the end of third year. Now going back, we will write here 259.712. Now watch, simple interest is rupees 80, rupees 160, rupees 240. If you observe the relation between change, that is time period to that simple interest, time period to that compound interest, where the ratio is constant, 1 by 80 is equals to 2 by 160, that is again cancelled, gives 1 by 80 only, 3 by 240, that also gives 1 by 80. So simple interest is in direct proportion, whereas compound interest 1 by 80 is not equals to 2 by 166 rupees 40 paise, that is not equals to 3 by 259.712. So compound interest is not in direct proportion, only simple interest is in direct proportion. This you could recognize. Now children, coming to the example questions now. First I will take example number 1. Here example number 1 from the textbook. The cost of 5 meters of a particular quality of cloth is rupees 210. Now you are asked to tabulate the cost of 2 meters, 4 meters, 10 meters and 13 meters of cloth of the same type. So as a solution, you know the cost of 5 meters of particular quality of the cloth, that is rupees 210. Suppose the length of the cloth is x meters and its cost is rupees y. Now I am making a table. In this table you are given for 5 meters cloth rupees 210, whereas you are asked to find what will be the cost of 2 meters cloth, 4 meters cloth, 10 meters cloth and 13 meters cloth, where values of x, if I consider x1, y1 mean x2, y2, x3, y3, so x2, x3, so x3's corresponding value is y3, x2's corresponding value is y2, x4 corresponding value is y4, x5 corresponding value is y5, whereas what is x1? This 5 is x1. What is corresponding value of x1? This becomes y1. Okay, so as the length of the cloth increases, cost of the cloth also increases, obviously. So the relation between the length of the cloth and cost of the cloth will be directly proportional. As length of the cloth increases, the cost of the cloth increases. So will be in the same ratio, that is because we have considered the formula x1 by y1 equals to x2 by y2, because x and y are directly proportional. Here x1 is 5, y1 is 210, therefore x2 if it is 2, what is the value of y2? So with that formula, x1 by y1 gives x2 by y2, I say 5 by 210 is equals to 2 upon y2. Now cross multiplication gives 5 into y2 equals to 2 into 210, and y2 we keep it as it is, 5 we will send it here, it is a multiplicand, if it comes this side it divides, so 2 into 210 by 5 on simplification gives you 84. Therefore the cost of 2 meters cloth is 84 rupees. Now second question. Here if I want to find out the cost of 4 meters of cloth, considering x3 as 4, substituting the same formula, x1 upon y1, that is 5 by 210 equals to x3 upon, rather x2, we will take x3 upon y3. So x1 by y1 equals to x3 by y3 gives us 4 by y3. By cross multiplication, 5 into y3 equals to 4 into 210, and sending this 5 multiplicand this side on simplification gives us 168 rupees. Then further, can we use x2 by y2 equals to x3 by y3? Yes, we can use it. and try. How can we try? Here x2 by y2, that is 2 by 84 equals to 4 upon y3. So with the same formula I can go ahead. Y3 equals to 4 into 84 upon 2, on simplification 84 2s are 168 you can get. Children, now you need to calculate the value of y4 and y5 as a part of your homework. Coming to the next question number 2. An electric pole 14 meters high casts a shadow of 10 meters. Find the height of a tree that casts a shadow 15 meters under similar conditions. Here I have a pole of 14 meter casting a shadow of 10 meters when sun falls on it. Now we need to identify, find the height of a tree. We don't know what is the height of a tree, but it is casting 15 meters of as a shadow. You need to identify the height of it, height of the tree. Okay, coming to the solution, let the height of the tree be x meters. We form a table as shown below, where height of the object in meters is taken and length of the shadow in meters is taken. Here height of the object in meters becomes x variable, length of the shadow in meters becomes y variable. Now we have got 14 meters of height pole casting 10 meters of length as a shadow, and what would be the height of a tree which casting 15 meter of length as a shadow. Here with the assumption of x, we got x height of the tree, x meters will be the height of the tree. Note that more height of an object and more would be the length of its shadow. Therefore height of the object and length of the shadow are in direct proportion. So these are there in direct proportion. So this case of direct proportion, that's why I am taking x1 upon y1 equals to x2 upon y2, where 14 by 10 equals to x by 15. You know reason, where we have got 14 as x1 gives 10 becomes y1. If I consider x as x2, 15 becomes y2. So 14 by 10 equals to x by 15. Now on cross multiplication we will get 14 into 15 by 10. Here it is 15. 14 into 15 by 10. Further on simplification we will get 14 into 3 by 2, which gives 21 meters as the height of tree. We will write, thus conclusion, height of the tree is 21 meters. Okay, so with this example number 2 is over. Now let's go for example number alternative method. Same example number 2, we are doing alternative method. Can we write x1 by y1 equals to x2 by y2 as x1 by x2 equals to y1 by y2? Can we write? Yes. So by transposing x1 into y2, x2 into y1, here we have got x1 cross multiplication I did. So on cross multiplication I got x1 into y2 equals to x2 by y1. Now multiplicand, if I bring x to this side, x1 upon x2, and bringing y2 which is multiplicand this side, it divides. So y1 by y2. We can write like this. That is why I said yes. Now this can be written as proportion. You know what is the proportion? Equality of two ratios is called proportion. That's why we are been telling proportional, proportion, direct proportion, direct proportion. Understood? Reason for direct proportion. So x1 is to x2 equals to y1 is to y2. Now we can do same question. 14 is to x is 10 is to 15, and we will get from the same, the product of means is equals to product of extremes. Here 10 into x equals to 15 into 14. It implies x equals to 15 to 14 by 10 gives 21. We can conclude through this alternative method also the height of the tree as 21 meters. Now coming to the third example, example number 3rd. If the weight of 12 sheets of thick paper is 40 grams, how many sheets of the same paper would weigh 2.5 kg? So this is the question number 3. See children, we'll go for now solution of it. In this solution, what I am considering here, let the number of sheets, let the number of sheets which weigh 2.5 kg be x. So here 12 sheets are weighing 40 grams. So here number of sheets. So the weight of 12 sheets is equal to 40 grams. Therefore, we are assuming let the number of sheets which weigh 2.5 kg be x years. X will be. So we put across this information as a table now. So coming to the table, in the table I am taking number of sheets as a one column, maybe variable x, and weight of them as a y variable. When 12 sheets weighs 40 grams, x number of sheets weighs 2.5 kg. Here grams and kg, let us convert 2.5 kg into grams. 2 kg is nothing but into 1000 grams. So 2.5 into 1000 gives 2500 grams. Now more the sheets, more the number of sheets, will be giving more the weight. So therefore this case is of direct proportion. Therefore x1 upon y1 equals to x2 upon y2 we can consider. Here 12 upon 40 equals to x upon 2500. So x equal to 12 into 2500 by 40 1 0 cancels, 4 1s are 4 3s are. So 250 into 3 gives 750, which is nothing but 750 grams. 750 sheets. So we will conclude, therefore 750 sheets weigh 2.5 kg. So we can write conclusion. This is how we complete this solution. Now children, the time of homework. Here is the homework. In homework I am giving example number 4 and example number 5. You can pause the screen, note down this example number 4 and 5, solve them as a part of homework. So with this I will wind up the session. Jai Hind. Thank you.